Welcome everyone back to baseball, where we just had a poll about the black jerseys possibly coming back, and people felt very strongly about that, didn't they, Ryan?
They did. The players feel strongly about it, and the fans feel strongly about it. They want the black jerseys back. They simply do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the consensus was that they definitely were in favor overall. There were some people out there that really did not like that idea of having black jerseys, like blue and orange. And I get that. The Mets are definitely, the blue and orange is the identity of the team, but the black is kind of cool, and I think they should probably bring it back. I heard a lot of people saying about maybe Friday nights, like a blackout on Friday night, or having it maybe once a week. How do you like that idea? Maybe just doing it once in a while.
It could work. It could work. I mean, I really think the people who are against it are the traditionalists. They want the orange and blue. They know the team is orange and blue. They want to stick to that. But the late 90s, early 2000s, that's a very good time frame for a lot of Mets fans. That's a lot of Mets fans' first experience at a good winning team. And I think that has something to do with it. That sticks with people. They remember Piazza. They remember Franco. They remember all of the good players we had back then. And they want to go back to that feeling. So to them, the black jerseys represent a time when the Mets were actually relevant and good. And I think that's a big, big factor in it for especially the generation that grew up in that time period. You're talking about the fans that were born in the 80s and the 90s. And you can see here, we can see the black jerseys. Piazza's the perfect example of that. Number 31, you see it all over the place. But that's what I mean. They associate the black jerseys with certain players and a lot of good players. Alfonso, Ordonez, Piazza, Olerud. You go on and on and on.
Oh yeah, those are good times, and I think that's what the black jerseys remind people of is when they were, in the World Series. They had that incredible season in '99, where unfortunately, if it wasn't for Kenny Rogers throwing that awful pitch at the end, we might have actually won that series against the Braves. That was the same series, by the way. Yeah, same series with the Ventura walk-off single. But that's what I think the black reminds people of, bringing that back. Here's the home jersey. Now, I personally, I like the away black jersey a lot more. That's something that doesn't really get talked about too often. So if I do like a Mets away black jersey, you'll see what I'm talking about.
People may not realize that there is a bit of a difference.
Yeah, so here's going to be probably tied. There he goes. All right, there it is. Whoever's selling this one, I don't know. But hey, we're endorsing you. So here's the detail you can see on there. I love the way that the New York is written on there, and I just love the black for the away. I think the home should be white, or it should be like a the alternative blue, where you have a solid blue. That is my opinion. But these are sexy, man. I like that.
Absolutely. No, home, you got to be showing your true home colors. It's got to be blue. It's got to be orange and blue. It's either got to be the pinstripes. You got to have something like that that really like gives you that home feel. Just like we talked about, Citi Field didn't feel like at home at first because it wasn't orange and blue. The home jersey's got to be orange and blue.
Absolutely. And here's one of my favorites. So a lot of the folks, and probably the reason why is because we were comparing it to the blue on the poll, but I really like these all blues here.
That's sexy.
It is. And here's a picture of, I believe that's Hefner, who's her pitching coach now.
Who's not sexy.
No, he's not. I don't care where you come from. He's not. So this is okay. I like this. This is a good one. I even like I like the Los Mets here. Right. And then you have the New York away again. This away jersey, I think that makes it stand out. Johan just wants to show his face, but this brings out that New York again. Really, really, what I like about it is the way that the orange borders around the gray, and it gives you that beige look. It gives you like that silver looking beige look, which I really like.
No, the gray in the lettering is a nice touch because it's just different enough that it gives you a little bit of a different look. It's a little sleeker. It's a little slicker, and I do like that. I like the incorporating that into there, but still making the base of it orange and blue.
Yes, 100%. I mean, I like that orange. Orange looks a little bit. Well, I'm kind of like me in this shot right now. I look a little orange, just like the uniform. But people definitely are interested. I had some folks on our baseball show comment that, like, who cares, right? Like the old who cares. And obviously people care because we got tons and tons. I know we're tooting our own horn here, and I don't care. Tons of comments, tons of reactions, and we have a lot of new follicles from it. These people are new follicles, and we're proud to have every one of them. And we just reached 3,000 with a lot of help from this poll. So
seriously,
I'm going to give myself a round of applause. You give yourself a round of applause too.
I mean, we might be sound like we're tooting our own horn, but really it comes down to the people. The people really wanted to speak on this.
Yeah.
They really did. We got hundreds and hundreds. We might even have had thousands of responses to this because everyone wants to chime in because they feel very strongly about this, either one way or the other. And I feel like the people who like the jerseys, the black jerseys, and they want them to come back, they feel strongly about it. They like it. Again, I think it's that younger generation who grew up with that team. The people that don't like it, those are the ones I feel like are really, really adamant about it. Like I feel like if you like the black jersey, like yeah, I like it. It'd be nice if it comes back. If you don't like the black jerseys, you're very adamant about. I don't want to see it. It's not Mets colors. Mets are orange and blue. Stick with that. So I feel like it's kind of like half of them like it and they're like they're fine with it, and the other half are dead serious about I don't want to see it.
True. True.
Now
And
here's something everyone wants to see: the classic pinstripes.
I don't know about everyone, Ryan. I mean, I'm one to say that I'm not a big fan of the pinstripes, at least now. Here's the current look here. So, except for the number, there's usually a number here. It would be a 12 right over in that section. But this is a Lindor jersey here. Um, Here's a couple of reasons why I don't like the pinstripe. When I think of pinstripe, I think of the big bad Yankees, right? That's a Yankee thing. They own that. That's them, right? And we're gonna get into their jerseys another day. So this one kind of makes everyone look like they're fat. So Pete Alonso kind of gets the brunt of this. I personally don't like it because when I wear it, I look tremendous, and I'm not in the best shape, but I look like I'm in the worst shape of my life when I wear this jersey, and I do own one. You've guys have seen me that in the videos that we do. I've worn that, but that's why I don't really like it. It looks like pajamas too. When you have the the top and the bottom both pinstripes, does it not look like pajamas, especially with the orange and blue?
See, here's where I'm going to disagree with you right now.
Yeah, good.
I like it. And why do I like it? Because it's baseball. Pinstripes are baseball through and through. It's classic baseball. I mean, I know, quote unquote, the Yankees own it. I'm tired of the Yankees owning things. They don't need to own it.
Right, right.
Baseball is pinstripes, and pinstripes are baseball. It doesn't matter what team you are. I really think every team should have some form of a pinstripe jersey at some point, just because it's classic, it's throwback. Like what team didn't have pinstripes at some point in their history, except for like maybe the Pirates because they were too busy having like funny hats.
Well, put pinstripes on a black jersey, and that's how you can make a black jersey look really bad. Like if you could you imagine yellow pinstripes on all black, or even the other way around, that
Or
would
like
look
white pinstripes on a black, you would look like it was like a jail suit at that point.
it would look terrible. It would look absolutely terrible. Here's something that I actually do like. That's pinstripe. I like the older pinstripe look, and let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger here.
So
And
you're
this,
talking classic 69 look.
yeah, I do like that one. Yeah, it's about as big as it's gonna get. I like that because of the shadowing that it has. There's shadowing in there, and let's see if I can pull up a better picture of it so you can see what I mean. Here's Reyes with it on. Reyes, there you go. The black around the trim right there gives it a shadow effect, and I like that. It makes it pop. I'm not a big fan of the plain ones that we're seeing right now. Now, this brings me to this here.
The
Why
all white.
can't we have, and I guys, please chime in, tell us your feedback, see if you like what I'm talking about here or you don't, or it's something that you want me to show, and on our next one we could definitely show that to you. But here's one that's a solid white. I like the solid white. You see how what it does, Ryan, when you get rid of those pinstripes, it looks so much more clean.
I'm not opposed to the all white jersey. I'm not opposed to that. But for me, just pinstripes is classic baseball. It's like stirrups. Keith is a big fan of the stirrups. It's classic baseball. It looks like a baseball player. When you're wearing pinstripes, you look like a ball player.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion.
Right. No,
If
and
you have a different opinion, go ahead and put it in the comment section. But my opinion, pinstripes equal baseball.
I respect that opinion, and I do like some of their pinstripes. And here's another example: pinstripes again, right? And
And the racing stripe.
this is the racing stripe on it. Now, some
Yeah.
would say that's uglier than sin, but I
But
actually like this.
and to that point, you and me come up from the same generation. This is the baseball jersey we grew up with. This is the first jersey I remember seeing as a Mets fan. So to me, it doesn't get any more throwback for my generation and my history than Strawberry in a striped jersey. Strawberry is my first favorite player of all time. But to me, this is the pinnacle of classic Mets jersey.
Oh yeah. And I like that word pinnacle because that's exactly what it is to me too. And by the way, hurry. It ends in 4 hours and 3 minutes and 3 seconds and counting. So if
Now
you
we're
want
not
this,
selling this, but someone's selling it,
we're
and you
not
got to get
selling.
it within the 4 hours.
We're definitely not selling it, but someone's telling you to hurry up. I have a feeling that when this time expires, you're still going to be able to get it for the same price. That's just my feeling.
Like every 2 o'clock in the morning infomercial you've ever seen.
Right, exactly. So don't worry about that, people who are watching at home. Let's do this one. So something that I want to bring up here. This is the old Mets road uniform from 1986,
Hmm.
and this
This
is
is a bit of a
interesting.
different look.
So here's the one with the Mets written on it and not New York. So I believe they wore this in '86 as well. So this was their, yeah, there you go. There's just Roscoe about to flip out, actually literally do a flip right there. Um, so you have those, but the ones that I actually wanted to look at here, Ryan, were the scripted New York. So I'm gonna write with New York right on it.
Didn't that start in the late 80s, like 88, give or take, I believe?
I believe so. I think that came a little bit later on. So we're gonna try to
There you go,
find
right
that
there, Keith
one.
Hernandez.
Where do you see it, Ryan?
A little bit lower.
Lower, Keith. Where are you? Oh, actually, you know what? Here's a good one.
There you go, right there.
I actually own this, by the way. I'm gonna bring this on one of our memorabilia shows. This guy right here gives you a little indication. Wish they made these things bigger, probably because they know people like us are showing it.
There you
Um,
go.
so this is where I was getting at. The New York written that way, the script. I love this personally. It just looks so much better than that Mets one, didn't it, from '86? But that was, this is written as '87. Now, this is not 100% accurate. I don't know how accurate this really is, right? But it gives you a good idea of some of the different uniforms, right?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I don't know about the New York script. It's almost like a little too like swanky for me. It's like it almost looks like they're trying to be like too upscale. Like, oh, we won the World Series now. Now we're hip. We're upscale. We're classy.
yeah, maybe that's what
When
it was.
if we
It,
know the '86 team and the '80s teams, they were anything but classy.
no, 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 no. They were,
They
they
were
were,
amazing, but they weren't classy.
well, they were amazing at showing up every single day and playing like champions. They were insane, and amphetamines probably helped a little bit to get them going. That's just the half of it, but don't ask me. Ask Keith Hernandez; he'll tell you. So this gives us a chance while we're here too. Talk about again some of the through the year stuff. So we have 1986 as we went over, and then we're gonna get into like 73 and 1980. So here's the difference here with 1980. And I'll pull up a bigger picture for you. So this one has the orange and blue right on the by the elbows
On
there,
the sleeves.
on the sleeves. There you go, good word, sleeves. And then the other one here is from '73. That's got the way that New York is written now. It actually is the same way, but this is the gray. That's from '73. '69 again with the pinstripes and no black in it whatsoever, right?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't gone through as many changes as some teams have. There've been a little adjustments here, tweaks to the actual color of the jerseys, whether it be like the off white of like the old school '60s jerseys versus the more like pure white now, racing stripe, no racing stripe. There haven't been that many changes. It's mostly like aesthetic changes, like the font of the Mets and the racing stripe versus no stripe versus the black jerseys are really the biggest change they ever made to them at all. There
Right.
you go. There's a good example of those
Yeah.
stripe. It's almost like a precursor to the racing stripe. They it's like a test run. They tested around the sleeves and around the neck and see how like that works first before they went all out on the sides.
Right. No, everyone does test. I mean, we had a bit of a test of our own, did we, with that poll, and that inspired us to put out a live show here and show you guys what we're looking at. So this gives you a chance. Once again, guys, at home, tell us, what do you like the best? What do you think is absolutely god awful? But this to me is pretty awful. I don't like
It
this at
looks
all.
it looks bad because you know why it looks bad? It almost looks like it's red and blue. It doesn't even look orange at
Yeah.
that point. That
Could,
looks that's it's very hard for me to say a Mets jersey is ugly. That's an ugly jersey.
could be the contrast of the screen. And then this is another one too. With the what we were talking about before with the New York scripted. Good one. And then we have like our batting practice looking ones. These
Yeah,
aren't
the
bad.
spring. Yeah, those are not bad at all. Those alternate blues with the racing stripe on there. See, how do you feel about the mixing of a jersey? Meaning like the blue top with the pinstripe pants versus like an all pinstripe or all blue outfit.
That's a great question, and I'm glad you asked it. So that they do that now. They have a all blue jersey, blue solid jersey, right, with the pinstripes, blue solid with pinstripes, and then you got to put Mets so Google knows what we're talking about because that could be anybody. Let's see if we can. Yeah, there's our buddy Jeff McNeil, sporting number 68. How you like that?
That's got to be like early spring training.
Oh yeah, this is Wikipedia. They're not going to tell us nothing as far as
No, you
pictures.
can't trust Wikipedia.
No, not with pictures. So anyway, I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's the pants. So just it's not hard to imagine. You just got pinstripes on the
Yeah,
bottom and then that on the top.
blue
So
top, pinstripe bottom. There you go.
pants.
There's a good picture of is that Grandy right there with it?
Who's
Oh
that?
no, no, I'm sorry, that's Cespedes. That's Cespedes.
Oh
We don't want to talk about him.
no, we don't. Um, but to answer your question, Ryan, it still looks like pajamas. You put those pants on with the pinstripes, and I think that's what I have a problem the most with. It was pinstripe pants making it look like pajamas. But this is better than all pinstripe, completely, in my opinion. If you put that solid on that, it kind of contrasts the both of them together. There's a buddy John Oldroot. I love that solid one again.
And there's a
But
good jersey. There's nothing wrong with the all white. I mean, look, it doesn't matter how many. I don't care if the Mets have like 5 different jerseys. They break some of them out on special occasions. Like again, the Fridays, whether you want to do, every home game Friday, whether you want to do like once a month, whether you want to do a couple times a year, like they do with the '86 jerseys. I do think they're going to come back at some point. They're screaming for it too much, and MLB likes to make money too much that they're not going to capitalize on that.
yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to make money? But MLB, it seems extremely greedy, like most corporations out there, right?
But
Uh,
here's a question for you though, because we haven't seen this outside of spring trading. Maybe you can pull up a spring trading version of this, the
mhm.
orange jersey,
Yeah, okay, that's something that
because
someone.
the Mets have never worn that during the regular season, but they do have like a spring training orange jersey. I'm gonna pull that up and see what that looks like. Because
I know exactly what you're talking about. So here's who is that guy? I want to say Pedro Stasio. Oh,
that's a very good guess. It's a very
yeah.
good guess. I mean, to me that just looks too much like an Orioles jersey to me.
Okay. So here's the deal with that orange, and I'm glad you brought it up. Now, there's a couple of folks that commented about like bring the orange back. Like, why not? No one's mentioning it. No one's mentioning it for a reason. I think it looks god awful, guys. I mean, especially with the black hat. They were wearing a all black helmet with that. They got rid of it right away. There's Art Howe, right there, and then there's
They
Mejia.
also should have got rid of right away.
Yeah, Mejia's not talking about it. He's like, listen, if I do steroids one more time, am I going to get away with it or am I out? Like he's asking Word, and Word's like, yo, dude, don't do it. And Darnold's like, I don't know, bro. I get hurt all the time. But they have those look okay. These. So the reason why I pulled this up is because when you have the black hat, I mean the blue hat, excuse me, with it, that doesn't look so bad to me. I don't mind that. Now that's not spring training. That's an actual game.
That is an actual. I can't get down with the all. It's too abrasive on the eyes to me. It looks too much like like the Orioles or something like that. Like orange to me should not be the base of the uniform. It should be the highlight of the uniform. Like it looks like you took a Mets uniform and turned it inside out, basically.
It's good for trim, right? It's good for having it as a trim, but not as an all out orange in front of your face.
That's just my feeling. If you like the orange jerseys, please comment in the section below. Let us know how you feel about the orange jerseys. If you want to see more of that, we want to hear it.
And if you don't like the color orange, like my girlfriend hates orange on anything, and if that's the case, then you really hate this. Like this would actually drive you mad. You might throw up looking at this.
If you hate orange, why are you a Mets fan?
Exactly. Well, I question that all the time about her, but she does love her Mets, but she does not love that orange.
I mean,
Trust
look,
me.
I'm honestly not a fan of the orange as a full color itself, but it's obviously it's integral to the Mets colors and it's integral to the color scheme. It needs to be there. I just don't want to see it right in front of my face like that. I feel like I gotta like wear sunglasses when I look at that jersey. It's too bright, too
Oh,
bright, too. It hurts my eyes. It hurts
so
my
you
eyes.
so you think that's ugly? Wait till I pull this up. Now, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Now, I
Now,
don't. Let me explain this to the people out there. Now, this happened because you're going to probably wonder why did they ever do this? There was a turn the clock ahead night that they had back in 2000, and they were always trying to be futuristic here. And this is a good diagram of it actually. They had this going on. So they had I guess that's That's the Mercury Mets there with the sleeves, and then oh my God, there's so much going on here. Why,
I,
Ryan?
I don't understand it. I don't think I'll ever look. Ricky looks like he doesn't understand it right there.
Yeah, Ricky
I,
doesn't do autographs, but he also doesn't do ugly jerseys.
this has got to be the ugliest jersey in the history of baseball. Like, I don't even know if other teams did this around that time. I don't know what other schemes they came up with. This is just awful. This is awful on every aspect, whether it be the sleeves, the color, the symbol. I don't get it. There's nothing about this that screams Mets.
All right,
There's,
is that a male symbol or a female symbol?
is it both? Is it the symbol for Mercury, like the planet? Is it?
I don't know, but it does look like it's both. Maybe they were trying to push the both genders too as one. So, but there it is, folks. And then you have it could have been worse. It could have been this. It could have been Chris.
No,
Benson.
actually, that's not worse. Somehow that's not worse. It's maybe I'm partial because I hated the Mets jersey so much, being a Mets fan. But like, to me, I mean, that's ugly. Don't get me wrong. That's absolutely disgusting.
God awful.
But those Mercury Mets, look, you can't find one picture of a player that looks like they're actually enjoying themselves in that jersey.
No.
Like every single picture you click on, they look miserable. And this is a team that was actually good. So it's not like they're playing out the string in last place. This was a contending team, and every picture looks miserable because nobody can enjoy putting that uniform on. They all know they don't look good.
Okay, now Larry Walker doesn't mind it too much. He's got that look of grit. He kind of looks like Hulk Hogan, if I'm being honest, there, in that picture. But looks like he's triumphant. He just body slammed someone or hit a home run. But those uniforms don't look bad. The reason why I pull this up is that you could see this was real. This was a real thing the MLB decided to do. They thought this was a good idea. The Mets probably had one of the worst looking ones. For me personally, it's the shoulders. It's the shoulders. I mean, come on, dude.
Those sleeves are just ridiculous. I mean, if you were going to do this at all, first of all, it was a bad idea. But if you were really, really going to do this, how do you at least not make it an orange and blue scheme? Like it's not even the Mets. Like, I don't know what that is. Like that? At least every other team did something to pull it into their team. There's no excuse. I don't know who came up with this idea. I don't know if it's Jay Horowitz. I don't know if it was like somebody else in marketing. They probably don't have a job anymore. I'll say that much.
Well, I remember 2000 was a time where people wanted to be very futuristic. They were like, this is the year 2000. Let's act like it. Let's act like it's the year 2000. And this is the way you do it, I guess, but this is a terrible way. Now, first off, let me just tell you something. How is that? Yeah, that's the moon. That's not Mercury. So I don't get what they're trying to do. There's a shadow on the moon. Like,
look, I'm going to put this out there right now. If you own either a hat or a Mercury jersey, a Mercury Mets jersey, I want to see that in the comment section. If you actually own one of these things, I want you to show it off in the comment section. Show it up. I mean, you bought it. You should be happy you have it, I guess. If you actually went out and purchased one of these things, maybe you're a collector, maybe you have one of every jersey and you had to get it for collection purposes. I want to see, if someone actually owns this, I want to see it. I want to see it in the comment section.
Yeah, look, if you own it, then you better own it, right? You better own the fact that you have it.
Own up to it.
So, look, this is terrible, and I think I'm going to get off of this for a second because before I get sick,
I'm disgusted.
All right, one more time. All right, there you go. So, it can get worse, guys. Like you're sitting there complaining about certain jerseys out there and how they look terrible, but like that is the worst one ever. So they've had some really bad ones over the years, terrible ones. They've made little adjustments here and there to some things. I know we're missing a couple. One thing I do want to bring up though with the old black jerseys. So I'm going to put 1999 Mets black jerseys. Now, what's interesting about this one, just to bring things back home here, and let's see if they'll show us an example if we get lucky. The point I'm trying to make is that on this year 99, they decided to have no name in the back whatsoever, right? No name. Kind of like you see there, right? You see there's no name.
Yep.
They didn't do that. I don't know if you folks remember that, but it was the same way on the white jerseys too. They thought they were trying to be like the Yankees, I guess, and not having the name. It didn't work. Oh, there we go. Good one. Good shot. There's them celebrating there. You see there, this is white. Now with the white though also came the black hat, so there was so many combinations. Like you can go on, make your head spin, black hat, blue hat, mix it with the blue uniform, black uniform, whatever. John Franco's happy. He's like,
Yeah.
yay.
He's happy
But
he's still in the major leagues at that point.
he's happy, he's still in the major leagues, and people still reach out and talk to him, even though he doesn't know how to use a computer. So so yeah, so you have that, and then
There is actually one other jersey though I'm thinking of that. It's not as ugly as the Mercury Mets, but it was pretty bad. Last year's Players Weekend jerseys, the all
oh
white, the ice cream man jerseys.
yes,
Those things were absolutely atrocious.
yeah,
Atrocious. I mean, it's like everybody in the league had either black or white.
that wasn't last year, right?
Either
That was
like an all
19.
black jersey or an all white jersey. So it's like you were either Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, or you were like selling ice cream or delivering the mail.
I didn't like how basic it was. It was like every single team looked exactly the same. It was very uniform in that way, but you either had the white or black. It was
That was
like,
terrible. Because I remember the year before that when they did the Players Weekend, the Mets had a decent looking jersey. It was a mix of orange and blue, and I was actually very excited last year to get a version of that jersey that said Polar Bear on the back. I wanted that. I don't have a Pete Alonso jersey yet. I wanted to get a Pete Alonso Players Weekend jersey. I saw that. I said, I cannot own that. I cannot buy that in good conscience. I will never wear that. That is awful.
looks a little feminine, really. It does. I don't like it for that reason, but it's also completely, it's too much white. Like the letters are
It's
white.
white on white. It's ugly. It makes no sense. And again, it gives no identity to the team.
Is it see-through? I mean, is it see-through? I mean, look, this looks like see-through. Like, are we trying to see people's nipples here, or are we trying to play baseball? I
I
mean,
don't know
come
about you.
on.
I don't want to see a polar bear's nipples.
No, we already saw Michael Conforto's, and and that was pretty shocking. And then when we saw, God
Pete
bless
Alonso
him,
wants you to see everybody's nipples when they walk off, but
yeah, when he tears his shirt to pieces, and then COVID came and ruined that. But you can't do that anymore. But polar bear, yeah, I mean that's, I know what you're saying, Ryan. This would be the only reason to maybe consider getting it, because it looks like a polar bear jersey. It looks like something that a polar bear would wear. All white again, but the black ones were not as good either. I mean,
no, it's just
what
again,
the
it's
heck?
either it's just too generic. It's too generic. The Players Weekend was supposed to be about attitude. It was supposed to be about personality because you're putting all these nicknames on the jerseys. And what do? You take all of the personality out of the jerseys. It made no sense.
It's just completely plain. It's so plain. I mean, look at him going down and getting that ball. I was actually at a game in 2019 with my girlfriend, and we were here for one of these days, and I didn't realize it was Players Weekend until they came out, and I was like, "What's going on? Is this I Spy? What's happening?" And that's exactly what it looked like. It was like Spy versus Spy right
It
there.
was. There
It,
were tons of memes that came out after that because it was just obvious. It's one of those things where you don't know how it gets past the concept phase because the minute it comes out, it gets destroyed. It gets destroyed. Like nobody thought this was a good idea after they saw it.
no, no, it's absolutely horrendous. Is there any other ones that you could think of, Ryan, that you want to show?
I mean, we talked about the '60s jerseys, the '70s jerseys, the '80s jerseys, the Mercury Mets, the Ice Cream Man Mets.
Oh yeah, there's been so many combinations of it. You can really go on and on. I mean, if you just put like 1970s, right? They had some really bad. Here's probably the worst decade for Mets history when it comes to uniforms.
All of baseball really when it came to uniforms.
It was bad. Yeah, and you're right about that too. That's what the Pittsburgh Pirates one's really bad. Bad. All right, 1970s. So with the 70s, they showed me a lot of things that actually have nothing to do with 70s. But here is one that was good. It's like almost like it's like brought up for me. The white
The
hats.
white
We
hat.
we forgot
Ooh,
about the white hats. That was like, I believe,
ooh.
1997. I
I
believe
don't
they
like
had
it.
that.
I don't like it. Again, it's too. First of all, it's too unmet. Second of all, it shouldn't be all white. Shouldn't be all anything that's not orange and blue. It just looks weird. Like
Looks
the
like an ice
all
cream
white.
guy.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like an ice cream man. Like it's just the white with the orange and blue symbol. Just, I mean, like first of all, who has a hat like that that didn't get dirty within 5 minutes?
Right. Right.
How are you going to buy a hat like that?
And then here's one that's all green. They broke this out for St. Patty's Day for
You
many
know, I'm a little
years.
partial to this myself
Um,
for obvious reasons.
you're Irish. I mean, it makes sense. I don't have 1 ounce of Irish in me. At least I don't think. I never took an ancestry test, but I don't think I have any Irish in me whatsoever. But this green over here, yeah, I don't like that. But like, I could see like you maybe wearing it like recreationally as a regular person and not a baseball player, but this should
Yeah.
never touch the field like on a regular basis.
I mean, I have one of the green hats. I liked it a lot. Actually, I didn't have one of the green jerseys. Like again, granted, it's not very Mets, but I don't even remember. Did they ever actually wear these on the field, or were these just like specifically sold?
St.
I don't
Patty's
remember.
Day was the only time I ever remember them doing it during spring training on St. Patty's Day.
So they did it during spring. So okay, you know what? If you're gonna do things during spring training, I don't care as much. If you're not wearing it during the regular season, I'm not that worried about it.
Right.
So I mean, it's a nice little promotion. I mean, obviously, all these combinations are for one thing. It's to sell more.
Right.
Because if you have a jersey type, someone will buy it.
Okay, we got another one. This one's the Royal
Is
Mets. So this one's good. Obviously it's not going to say Royal Mets, it says Royal Giants, but I kind of like this scheme with the orange and blue here, and but it again too much because it's the back to the idea of the pants and the shirt being the same exact color.
See, now that looks like pajamas to me. They've used to me that looks like pajamas, but it's also because they're a little baggy. I don't know. It's maybe the little stripe down the middle, down like the middle of the leg. I don't know what exactly it is, but that actually does look like pajamas. I think it's also the blue shirts they have under it. So it's just like blue on top of blue on top of blue on top of blue.
That's what
Like
happens.
they look like they should be in Blue Man Group.
Right. And that's an example of what happens when you just put too much of one color on a jersey. That's what
Yeah.
happens.
And the
You
Mets
got
don't
it.
bang on trash cans.
No. Yeah, so look, so these guys know how to, they don't, but because they weren't around in that time, but this organization knows how to bang on some trash cans. And you want to talk
And
about
they know how to
ugly
make an ugly
uniforms?
uniform. That's
This
an
is the
ugly uniform.
this is probably the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I mean, we could do a whole other episode on just ugliest uniforms in MLB history.
Right. So exactly, that was actually an idea that got brought up to me before. So like just going through different teams too, because the Mets, the point of all this is the Mets are not they're not alone in this thing here, right? We have a lot of different uniforms from different times, from many teams. One team that does not change is the New York Yankees.